Today we have a very special guest. Anyone who is aware, we are going to be playing Queens in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and we have their head coach Grant Leonard here with us today. Thank you for joining us, Grant. We really do appreciate it, and for you to give us your time when I'm sure you're busy as hell out there, it means a lot to us. So really appreciate it. And like I said, if any time you need to pop off here, just let us know. So
No
first
problem.
off, I just want to say congratulations. Queens has headed to the NCAA tournament in the first year of eligibility. That's a pretty awesome feat. When that moment became real for you guys and you won your conference tournament to get there, what went through your mind?
Well, first thing I did was hug Dan Bailey, who is a legend at Queens. He's been on staff all 4 years with me here, but is also probably going to end up being a Hall of Famer and one of the greatest players in school history, and played pro for 9 years. So we embraced, and then, hey, I got to go shake the other coach's hand because the respective opponent is unbelievable, and in our league, the coaches are phenomenal. So, and then to hit you like as the guys are celebrating, like, hey, this is real. It just happened. It was surreal. It was awesome.
Wow, cool.
Was it more of like a big time celebration? Was it more relief or validation or kind of a combination of all the above on those?
Yeah, I think you can feel all those emotions at once, and I don't know about relief because I say that like even though we were picked to win our league, I still think finishing third, but even more like being so early in the transition. I don't think anyone expected this, and so that part is really neat that we were able to deliver on that really early, kind of ahead of the timeline. But the joy, the elation, all of that stuff, it all in one, and then also just like a almost like a pinch yourself moment.
Yeah.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
man, it's really cool. That's one of my favorite parts about college basketball. Isn't even necessarily March Madness. It's Champ Week. Watching all the mid majors and all these guys. That this is their only chance they don't get um, at large bids very often. So this is your one shining moment to kind of get into the next one shining moment type of situation. So really cool to see. For fans that may not know a lot about Queens basketball, which a lot of our fan base doesn't probably, how would you describe like the identity of the Queens Royals and the core values that you want your program to represent on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, and the first thing, because Queens actually didn't have a basketball team until 1988. All right, and then after a year or two, then it became Division Two. It was playing independent before that, but the amazing part of it is it's always won. I mean, I am the losingest coach all time in Queens history. How about that? The worst winning percentage. And so the amount of the coaches that have coached here, and I can name off a few. Bart Lundy, who's at Milwaukee. Josh Schertz was an assistant here. He's at St. Louis. Richie McKay, who's head coach at Liberty, was an assistant here. Dale Lair was the first head coach in AD here, and he was at Liberty and Colorado State as a head coach. You start going through Barkley Radaball, who was at Charleston Southern forever, and you start to be like, wow, man, the Queens coaching like tree is unbelievable. But Queens basketball has always represented tough, chip on your shoulder, hard nosed kids, and that's why we have Buddy the Street Dog, because we're trying to really identify with that moniker of all the Queens players of the past. And then, but we also do. We have always done this too. We play fast and we score the ball, and so we've tried to be forward thinking and how basketball's played and play modern basketball. And so I think you're going to see that both the toughness, the really play hard and lay it all on the line attitude, and then the modern basketball we're going to play fast and we share the wealth.
Awesome. I've actually got Liberty on right now. They're playing in the NIT first round. It's in the background. What's something unique about the culture inside of your program, maybe outside of the locker room that people might not realize?
Yeah, and I've been a part of 5 or 6 college basketball programs before this, and this one is so unique in that, like, those guys that played in the first team from 1998 to all the guys, like, I didn't coach all of them obviously, but they're all still around. And when I say that, like, I've been a lot of places where, like, you see an alumni every now and then. Man, in our after our games in our locker room, there's like 10, 15 alumni every game, and it's different guys. And the way they talk to each other in different eras, it really is a family deal. And Queens as a school has the same atmosphere. It's a smaller school, and so everyone knows each other. You can't get lost in the sauce here, but it really, really is a close knit family, and that's the specialness and the uniqueness of Queens as an institution and our program.
Yeah, I love to hear that because that's something that I think Purdue, being as big of a school as it is, that we really value is a lot of these guys, the alumni are always here. They're always back. They're always around the program. And they're nice enough, a lot of them, to come on our show and other shows. And it's really nice to see that, and especially for you guys. So
So
I want to point to, go ahead.
Not to interrupt, I want to give you a Purdue Nation a shout out. My mentor when I first got into coaching and was working camps was Everett Stevens. Okay, Purdue great from the 80s and early 90s, and his son Kendall Stevens I actually coached when he was a wee little one, and great kid. Purdue basketball is awesome, and the way Coach Stevens talked about Coach Katie, and then leading into being around Coach Painter, and I've met Coach Painter. My respect for that program is off the charts, and something that they represent that I want our guys to, and how guys stay here. It's really a family atmosphere. It's a developmental program, and we take guys who are less ranked and have chips on their shoulders, and they end up being great players. Purdue's all about that stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate that as a program, obviously, too. So I'm going to point the finger back at you just for a minute. If someone's watched your team for 5 minutes play basketball, what would tell them, like, yep, that's a Grant Leonard team?
Well, first, I'm not going to call a bunch of plays, so it's going to be dudes out there and reading the defense and just playing with incredible pace on offense, and then ball pressure and on defense, and then we attack the glass like crazy. Now, we're not the biggest team, but we just got a lot of fight. I think when you watch us, you know that's a Grant Leonard team right away.
Yeah.
Playing with fight. As a, you've been a big part of building that program and the rise of this program. What was the turning point where you realized Queens could really compete on the national level under Coach Leonard?
Yeah. The first year, and again, when the transition happened, and I was so fortunate that Queens believed in me. Think about this. I was a Division II assistant when we were Division II. My boss leaves for Milwaukee, and they give me the job to keep the team and the culture together because that's how much they believed in it. And so I go from Division II assistant to Division I head coach. It's an incredible fall up. But that team that with full of Division II players, man, we're having a great season. We're beat Marshall, and we got kind of beat up late in that season. And look down at the bench, we got 7, 8 guys healthy. We go to Kennesaw State, who is undefeated at home and winning our league, and we upset them by 9 on the road, and we controlled that whole game. At that point in time, I was like, if we can beat the best team in our league, and then the next year we beat Stetson, who ended up going dancing, and last year we beat Lipscomb at Lipscomb. Every year we were that close. We were building our depth to be able to win deep into February and then March. And this year I know we were picked to win the league, but I knew we had the deepest team, and you can see it in the way we play, 6 guys in double figures, a 7th guy really close. But that moment when we beat Kennesaw, I was like, it may not be right away, but we're right there. We're not far away.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you mentioned Stevens from Purdue, and I'm going to kind of pivot here because my question really was people that have shaped you. But from your days playing, I believe you played at William Penn. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Was there anyone back in your playing days that was a coach or an assistant or someone on the staff that really kind of led you to wanting to do it yourself and becoming the coach that you are today?
It's funny. That's when I was working for Everett. Okay.
Oh, okay.
He owned North Shore basketball camp, and so I was able to run his camps in the suburbs of Chicago and hire my teammates and friends to work with me. But the best part was that in summer, like, I played hoop it up with Everett Stevens and other like pros because they loved how I played with a chip on my shoulder, and I shot the 3 well. So, it's just funny how small of a world it is. But my college coach John Henry, he's got 500 plus wins at William Penn, and I was one of his first recruits. He encouraged me to go into coaching because of my basketball IQ, and he's like, "You're going to be an unbelievable college coach." And again, I had no idea how it worked, none. I walked in I got a teach TA job at Wisconsin Milwaukee, and I walked in the off Bruce Pearl's office, and I asked him if I could volunteer, and he was really nice. He's like, "Look, there's rules about Division I staffs, how many people can be on it. I don't have enough room right now, but I think you should go coach high school." And right down the street, about a mile away, was Shorewood High School, and that was my first coaching job. And I just appreciate Coach Henry. I appreciate Everett, because those are two guys who pushed me into coaching, and it was unbelievable.
That's cool.
What a journey, man. What's a lesson on your journey that really had nothing to do with basketball, but has made you a better coach and maybe even a better man?
Yeah, I think, basketball is intertwined with all of it, but I'm going to talk about two things, okay? Probably the turning point in my career was actually at Queens. It was right after our third year. And we were at one point, I believe, 25-2, or 23-2, right around there, and we were ranked fourth in the country. So we were pretty good. And we got hammered at home by a team that was better than us. But they were ranked like second or third in the nation. And our guys were loose, okay? They were really good players. We were super talented. And we ended up limping home that year, and we lose in the Sweet 16. But I knew we couldn't win the championship that year, and I knew it was because our guys, they weren't all the way bought into living right all the time. And I remember that next recruiting class, we brought in a transfer, and I got a bad vibe on the visit. And I looked at my boss, Coach Lundy, and was like, "We got to get a better kid than that. Not a better player. He was really good." And at that point, we started really taking character over the talent. You still got to be talented. Don't get me wrong. And that next year, we went 30-4, then 32-4, then 31-5. And that was the turning point in my career, learning that you can win games with talented players, but you have to have character on your roster to handle the adversity and the tough times. That was a huge lesson for me. The other lesson that I've learned, and this is in any walk of life, is never turn down a learning opportunity, okay? I wouldn't be here in my career without adversity, but there's multiple times where I've volunteered for things or even paid out of pocket for things to learn more in my profession. And I'll go into two examples. The hoop group, I worked Eastern Invitational. This is back when camps were more important than AAU. And the networking that went on in those camps back then was amazing. And you don't make any money on those camps. Like, you got to pay more to get there than you do the little stipend they give you. But the people you meet is unreal. And then as we're winning all those 30-game seasons, and I'm struggling to get a head coaching opportunity, I saw an opportunity to start a TBT team. And I went through the process and started my own TBT team, the D2 All-American team. And it was a team that became a program over 3 years, and all the guys still talk. And it was my first opportunity to make those major decisions, what players to take, what we're going to run, and it was an amazing opportunity, and it cost me money. I paid out of pocket for a lot of things because I didn't have enough sponsors to pay for it all. But it was the most valuable experience for me because I learned how I wanted my voice to be. And don't ever turn down a learning opportunity, whether it's basketball, whether it's in a different walk of life, because you never know what that's going to turn into and how it's going to shape your future. And so those would be the two things I talk about. Character matters, and don't turn down a learning opportunity.
Write that down.
Yeah,
Write
really
it down.
appreciate the insight there.
That's awesome.
We had Chris Kramer on, former Purdue player, recently, and he mentioned something that Coach Painter always said about you never know who's going to be on the other side of that phone call or who's going to be in that other chair when you turn down an opportunity or when you're rude to someone or something along those lines. So treat everybody as if they're as important as the next guy. So okay, let's move a little bit to like this experience of the NCAA tournament. You guys in your first year of eligibility. What has the past week been like for your players specifically, knowing that they're about to play in the NCAA tournament on the biggest, stage in all of college basketball?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I appreciate the ASUN for finishing our tournament early
Yeah.
because we got a little more time and runway to do all this, which has been awesome. So we got back, took a few days off, and then started to work on us, and we had some unbelievable lead up practices before we even knew we were playing Purdue. But it's been so exciting for them. When you're at a small school, it's not the same as when the media and everything. There's media around because it's Charlotte and we're a Division I school, but not like it's been this last 10 days. And the really neat thing is we have so many unique stories on our team from an Israeli player like you guys have one, and think about that. We're going through a conference tournament and his family's watching games from a bunker. So Berman's been probably our best player all year. Chris Ashby, who's broken so many. He's 41st all time in NCAA history in threes made. I mean, incredible. And you start going through all the stories. Nas Man, who's here in Charlotte, his brother's Trey Man is playing for the Hornets, and how he ended up here and tournament MVP and been phenomenal all year. And I can go on and on, but all these stories are being told about our players, and that's the best part because they deserve that type of attention.
For sure.
Yeah, it's got to be surreal for your guys. Just being in the limelight. I guess with that, how do you balance letting them enjoy the moment while keeping them locked in? And what's the biggest challenge that you have, like preparing your guys and getting them ready for this moment that's coming up?
Yeah, I mean the excitement is amazing, but they know when we get to practice, it's about competitive spirit and growth and development, and so that's never been wavered for us, and we've always been rowing our boats in that direction of daily improvement as individuals and as a team. And so even if we have a tough practice, which we had 2 days ago, there's learning lessons, and we recover from that the next day, and that comes from leadership within your team, not even the coaching staff, really your players in that locker room, the seniors who hold those guys tight. And so, the thing that we're focused on, obviously, we now we have the information with Purdue, but we still have a lot of lead time in that game, 4 or 5 days. So it's like, let's not overwhelm our guys with every detail. Let's just slowly integrate what we're trying to get to, but more still also work on us. And I just love the fact that we get some opportunity to enjoy the moment, but we're not there to smell the roses. We're there to show people how good Queens basketball is, and it's going to be an unbelievable test for, say, probably what is a top 5 program in the last decade in college basketball, and how great Purdue has been.
Yeah, I love that you're letting them have fun because there's times where I feel like sometimes it gets too serious, and the guys need to have fun. But let's jump to the Purdue matchup. This is what the people want. You're facing, the consistent Purdue powerhouse, notoriously known for having a billion sets that they run. When you started scouting Purdue, what was like the thing that stood out right away?
Well, first of all, the physicality. And you go back to the last game versus Michigan, and Michigan and Arizona had maybe been the most physical teams in the country all year, and Purdue flat out punked them. And I mean that like it was jaw dropping to watch. We were watching it before the selection show. I had no idea we were going to play Purdue, so it was just we're sitting there watching the game, and I was like, "Wow, Purdue is taking it to them, like to the woodshed." And so the physicality is the first thing, and then obviously you guys, I have a vote in the NABC for All American, and I voted your point guard an All American first team, not second team, not third team, first team, because I think he's the smartest player in the country. So you start looking at that, the physicality, the offensive rebounding, the point guard play, which is, I mean, amazing. You start going through all these things, and you're like, there's not one thing or two things. There's about 5 things that are like, man, that's different. I mean, it's the most efficient offense in America, and they take the most long, like almost the most long twos, which is unheard of. But that's how talented their guys are. They get to their spots and take their shots. The mid range is not dead with Purdue. I know that. And so like the physicality is gonna be the first thing. Can we handle that on the glass? We've been inconsistent on the glass kind of all year, and so we have to have an unbelievable effort just to stay in the game.
Right. Obviously, Braden Smith, you talked about him. He's one of the best floor generals in the country. I guess from a coaching perspective, what makes him so difficult to prepare for and to deal with in a game?
Yeah, being the first thing is obviously he's played a lot of basketball, so he's seen about every single coverage. So you're just not going to rattle him, and so he knows how to make a read on a coverage. And their offense is different than it's probably been in years past. It's very heavy him and ball screens and handoffs, and so you're going to have to deal with that. And I don't even know, like, do you mix up your coverages? Do you stay with one? I mean, he's going to carve you up because he's seen it before, and so that's probably the first thing. You're just like, he's so smart, he's so tough, and he has so much experience. I mean, that's what makes him an All-American. It's just he's got all of it. So huge respect to him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. And just a quick side note here, it's expected that he's going to break the all-time assist record in this game. He only needs 2. What do you expect that moment to be like? Have you prepared your players at all for that?
No, I didn't. But I'd like to keep him from it. But I don't think that's going to happen. He'll probably have it in like the first 2-3 minutes. So it is what it is.
Yeah, get it out of the way early at least.
Yeah,
I hope they're not going to stop the game, but you never know.
I know. My dad swears up and down there's no way they're stopping an NCAA tournament game. So maybe they want to swap the ball out. I don't know, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
He's earned it. He's earned it. And I say that because we've got a kid on our team that's broken a lot of records. And so, you can keep the main thing, but those kids deserve their flowers for sure.
Yeah. What do you need from your guys, or what are you asking from your guys? It's a 2 versus 15 matchup where, just to be frank, most people outside of your locker room and your fandom are expecting, Purdue to win this game. They're a heavy favorite. What gives you confidence that your team in this environment, can pull an upset?
Well, the first message is going to tell. I mean, they're going to be nervous, right? So like, you don't play through nerves by shooting the ball and making a bunch of shots or anything like that. You do it by playing incredibly hard, making a hustle play, and the butterflies go away. And then it's going to be stay in the fight, okay? Like, just don't allow Purdue to go on a major run. That's what kills you in these games is a major run. And so, like, you're going to be nervous. That's okay. Fight your way through that. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. And then see if we can go on a run, because we have a really explosive offense. And so at that point, then do we put the pressure back on them? And that's going to be my message to our guys.
Love that. It's a good message. Given if you guys pull this off, what's that mean for Queens basketball 10 years from now? Looking down the road, man, you pull this upset off. What are you looking at?
I don't even know. That's for other people to say. Like that. For us, it's one foot in front of the other. And really focused on the task at hand. And the legacy of any of this, whether just making the tournament or getting unbelievably fortunate in beating an upset, that legacy is for other people to talk about. But it's just for the school right now. Think about this. I mean, we've had 3 billion hits on print media, radio, all this stuff, and that is life-changing for our school. It's going to change admissions, the quality of student, the amount of applications, fundraising, buildings, all that stuff, just because these guys played incredibly hard this year, and that's amazing.
Yeah, that's something I think people don't notice in a lot of these situations. I think, and I hate talking about it, but when Purdue lost to a 16 seed a few years back, what that did for that school, and still probably to this day, today is the anniversary of that. So it's all over my Twitter timeline. But
you guys did you know, to Connect Worlds? So when I first got the job, I hired Jack Castleberry, okay, as my top assistant. 6 weeks later, he ends up going to Fairleigh Dickinson as the associate head coach. They win that game. Now, we played them that year and beat them at their place by double digits. And they go on to upset Purdue, and then Tobin leaves and Jack gets the job. So there's a lot of connections here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Small world moment.
I find a lot, like, we interviewed Coach Greg Campy too, and like there's a lot of connections all over the place with Purdue. It's like we're just like a little intertwining piece of this whole landscape, it feels like. But now he asked about kind of what it means for your school, but when your players look back on this, not necessarily like whether they win, lose, whatever, but this whole experience of making the tournament and this joyride that they're on, what do you hope that they remember most?
Each other, the bonds that they're going to create, and hopefully we're talking about putting this team in the Hall of Fame here at school, 10, 15 years from now, and they're meeting each other's families and their kids are playing together. That's what this is about. The wins are awesome. Trust me. Don't get me wrong on that. Okay. But this is about the building community through basketball and building lifelong relationships that can never be broken. And that's what these guys are going to talk about us joking around in the bus after winning the ASUN tournament and the goofiness that ensues with all of that, the moments that are private within our team, and the stuff that you're going to laugh about 2 decades from now that had nothing to do with the game, but had everything to do with each other.
Yeah.
It's that family culture. We love that about Purdue, man. It sounds very similar down at Queens with you guys. That's what we love about it. Here's my last question before we go into a rapid fire round, which will be a lot of fun. But Coach Grant Leonard's mic'd up in a timeout. What are the fans hearing you tell your team?
Well, first of all, always it's about the process for us. I might drop a play, but we'll talk about what went well or didn't went well those 4 minutes, what an offensive adjustment or defensive adjustment that we see from what they're giving us, and then something about how we need to stay together, believe in each other. But our timeouts are incredibly positive. I'm not a huge yeller and screamer in games. Practice is moments for that. The games is time for our players to play. And this is 4 years for me now. I've only gotten 2 technicals. I'm not even sure I earned either one. But that's just not who I am. And that's our calm. I think my calmness resonates on our team. I don't call a lot of timeouts to end runs. Our guys play through them, and I believe in them, and they believe in us.
Yeah. And Dalton just mentioned it. It sounds like between the program and you as a coach and your style, there's a ton of correlations between you and Purdue and Painter. And that's the highest compliment that I can pay, being a loyal, diehard fan of this program and someone who follows them daily. So kudos to you guys. Yeah, like Dalton said, we got 2 little quick segments here, rapid fire, and then a this or that, which both go pretty quick here. So we want to be respectful of your time. But I'll start out on the rapid fire. Just first thing that comes to mind. If you want to give any detail or have a funny story, that's fine too. But all right, you get one cheat meal the night before a big game. What are you eating?
Oysters.
Oh, okay.
Who's the funniest player on your team? The guy that keeps the locker room jumping and kind of loose.
Carson Schwieger. Oh my God, he's a goofball.
That's awesome. Those guys are necessary in any walk of life. If you can remember one, what's your favorite March Madness upset that you've ever seen?
Ooh, that's a good one.
You can't say Purdue's lost though.
Yeah, no FDU.
That wasn't it. No. It was UMBC because they were the first, and to go 116, and Coach Odom used to coach in our league when we were Division II. It was an unbelievable game.
Yeah, I loved the call on that UMBC, believe it or whatever he said. That was awesome.
And then we got FDU, believe it.
Yeah,
we got that. If you weren't coaching basketball, what are you doing?
Probably managing a restaurant.
Right on.
Yeah, so you never know. Like my family had restaurants growing up, and we actually had one downtown in Indianapolis, and it's still there, but they changed ownership. But I served a lot of steaks and food in my life.
Right on.
Oh yeah, were they steakhouses?
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah, man, that had to
What's
be
it
great.
called?
Well, those were Moe's, a place for steaks.
Okay.
And there's one right downtown Indianapolis, right by the football stadium. But they originated in Milwaukee, where I'm from, and there's Moe's, a place for steaks, and Moe's Irish pubs. And so, but I've worked at barbecue restaurants and other steakhouses too. So, when you're a young coach, you don't make a lot of money, so you gotta go shake your tail feather a little bit.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna throw this one in here real quick. This is from a fan at Boilers Rock. Who's the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron?
Oh, Jordan, don't even get me started, please. No.
I'm with you, brother.
We feel the same way, Coach.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. If your players could describe you in one word, what would they use?
Oh my God, it could go so many ways. Probably eccentric. I don't know. The sweaters and the dog and all these things, they probably think I'm nuts.
That's awesome.
Your favorite basketball movie?
Blue chips. You
Oh,
know,
Blue
yeah.
Chips.
yeah, blue chips. Gotta go Nick Nolte and Shaq.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
The
underrated.
throwback.
That is a thing. I
That's
love
what's
that
up.
movie. That was like around the Shazam days too. Um, Coffee or energy drinks?
Ooh, I don't drink either.
Oh, okay.
I'll drink tea. The closest thing I get to an energy drink is a vitamin water with the caffeine in it, but it's very little.
Okay.
One word to describe your Queens team this year.
Resilient.
All right. One word to describe Purdue.
Disciplined.
This is the last one. If your team pulls the upset, what are you doing on Celebration Day?
Uh, Probably going to Nashville to listen to some music.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
And I'm gonna ask you this one. Answer it however you choose. This is from my son. He's 10 years old. Do you think that you will win the game?
You have to think that as a coach.
Yes.
You have to, and your players have to know that you believe too. You have to.
Okay. That's a good answer. Last one. Go ahead.
Favorite brewery in Charlotte?
Noda Brewery,
Noda.
phenomenal. There's about 20 or 30 though. Charlotte's amazing scene for that.
Oh heck yeah! All right, quick this or that. I already asked you one of them, so I don't know why I duplicated this question, so I'll skip it. Pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
Are you an early bird or are you a night owl?
Early bird.
In the plane, do you want a window seat or do you like the aisle?
Window.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
All right.
All right, I'll jump in. Dogs or cats?
Dogs for sure.
I've
I
gathered
agree with
that.
that. Are you cooking at home or are you going to a restaurant?
Ooh. No, I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna cook some jambalaya.
Oh, let me know when you're having that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'll be on my way. Pool day or lake day?
Well, you know what? No offense, Midwesterners. I'm going ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have thought of that. That's our bad right there, honestly. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars. May the force
Star
be with
Wars.
you.
All right. Are you reading a book or are you listening to a pod?
Reading a book.
Like it. I dig it.
Love the old school stuff. All right, couple quick fan questions, and then we'll let you out of here. A lot of them have already been covered, but Andy in Colorado is a big fan. I'll be the first to admit that I know nothing about basketball or close to nothing, let alone coaching it. But could you ever have imagined how rewarding it can be at times?
Never, never. You get into it because basketball's been a huge part of your life, and you think it's going to be about winning games and drawing up plays, and then you realize it's really about the relationships and the impact you have. And so, no, I never knew it was going to be like this, but it's amazing.
My boss had a question for you. There's a guy on your sideline with a degree in biology from Yale, and he wanted to know about, I think he knows something about that guy, or he wanted to know what he does.
So his title is an assistant coach. I give everyone a different area of expertise. He is game plan and design. He helps me in so many different ways. During the game, he actually sits behind the bench and gives me video feed on the replay calls, but then he also watches plays back with players as they come out. I'll tell him, hey, clip that, watch it with him as a show a player certain things. But in our game plan design and how we attack things, he gives me information numerically that is absolutely imperative to how I think. I'm an analytical guy. I think in numbers. So he's amazing. And I'll say this about any job: hire people smarter than you, because you don't want to think you're the smartest one in the room.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I had one more from X. Somebody asked me, to ask you. You've mentioned it a few times now with the dog thing. Where did that come from, and what's the role of the dog?
He's like our spirit animal, and as a coach, you're always searching for something that the guys can identify with to kind of get them to do something that they're not always consistent with. And so for me, I knew this year's team could score, but I wanted them to do the tough stuff, the dirty things. And so Buddy the street dog evolved. Guys always say we're dogs, we're tough, right? Every player says that. So it's like, hey, are you a Petco dog? Are you spoiled, or are you a street dog fighting for your life? And the guy said they're street dogs, and so from there, man, it's been awesome. We adopted Buddy as a statue, but the toughest guy every game, not the guy who scores most points, but the toughest guy, he wins Buddy, and our guys have embraced it.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Well, thank you. I have one final question before we let you go. And obviously, thank you so much for your time. I know that this is probably the busiest time of your life this week. So when people watch Queens in this NCAA tournament coming up here Friday, what do you hope that they say or think about your team when that game is over, win, lose, draw?
That we give an unbelievable, incredible effort, and I'm hoping this moment it already is, but life changing for the school, and can possibly change the trajectory of not only the school, our community, and some of our players' lives. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Sweet, man. Well, I know I speak for both of us. We really appreciate you. I know that the fans of Purdue will appreciate you. You come across as someone very much like what we're accustomed to, and that's the highest compliment we can give you. So, Dalton, do you have anything else?
Yeah, Coach, thank you so much for the time. I got a recruiting tip for you here in Indiana. Look out for Mac Welker. He is a 6'7" shooting forward. Kid can ball. So there's a little hot tip for you, Coach. Uh, I thought you'd be giving us all the info, but that's a little info for you. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for coming on during this crazy time. Wish you the best of luck in your game with Purdue. I will be secretly cheering behind closed doors for you, and wishing you all the best in the tournament and your run.
I just hope for a great game, and I know that Boiler fans are unbelievable people, and you guys are true basketball knowledgeable guys. So, if for any other thing, know that I'm a huge fan of Purdue basketball, except on Friday night. Except on Friday night.
Except
Yeah,
and like Dalton said, he'd be rooting for you. I'll be rooting for you to get closer than maybe than we want you to be, but not win that game. But no, well, I'll be rooting for you in the future, man. I really appreciate you coming on. It's been incredible, and a lot of insight and good information here. And we really respect your program and respect what you've done there and built there. And hopefully it just continues for you guys, and we see you hopefully next year on a different side of the bracket, so we can root a little harder for you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You guys have a great night, and hopefully you make it to the game.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
See you, Coach.
All right. That was Coach Grant Leonard from the Queens University. That is Queens in North Carolina. Throw your hands up. Take your shirt off. Awesome to talk to him, man. That was really cool. Huge thanks to him. First tournament appearance for him. Incredible story. I mean, to go from the first year of being eligible, they only became a D1 team in 2022. Feels unfortunately a lot like the FDU story, but hopefully not the same result. But now it's time to talk down, what Purdue needs to do to become, to stop from becoming the upset target again. And obviously we don't want that to happen. And a lot of respect for that guy, though, and his program. Dalton, what do you know about Queens? This isn't going to be a super in-depth breakdown. We did 2.5 hours last night, 2 hours the night before with another podcast. And honestly, I just want to watch a little bit of this first 4 game. I got Taco Bell upstairs. I just
had Taco Bell. So we're on the same page.
Yeah, we live in Peru, Indiana, guys, so it is what it is.
That's all we got. That's all we got.
What is your thoughts on this squad?
I mean, they're 77th in efficiency, similar to Akron in their efficiency. They play. They're pretty quick with the ball. They don't like to hang on to it. So similar to like in Alabama as far as getting shots up quick. Outside of that, man, I know next to nothing. I did watch part of the Central Arkansas game, and I mean they're tough. they're bigger team. They're 48th in the nation in average height, so they're a bigger team, and they play quick. They get up shots. They shoot a lot of threes. So something that Purdue has struggled with a bit this year. So what do you got on them?
Yeah, I don't have like an insane amount of stuff. I know that they're pretty young. They have quite a few freshmen, quite a few redshirt freshmen, some sophomores. But he brought up somebody that I think every Purdue fan should be looking at, which is Chris Ashby. I believe that's the name of the guy who is 46th all time in 3-point shooting makes. If you're a Purdue fan, you understand that our luck generally says if a guy makes a lot of threes, he's going to make a lot against us. And if there's somebody who doesn't make a lot of threes, they're probably also going to make a lot against us. So just thought that, from a standpoint of what their team does, they don't have like elite size. So their centers are 6'9", 6'8". They're not big. They're like 220 to 215 pounds. They're not massive. So my thoughts of this game is that Purdue should truly, truly dominate the interior, dominate the glass. This should be an Oscar Clough, Trey Kaufman-Renn game. I think we'll see some Daniel Jacobson in this game to give those guys a little bit of a break because this is a type of game Jacobson can actually thrive in. He'll be so much taller, and this team plays a little bit quicker of a pace. So I just think that in this game, you've got to pick on what this team doesn't do well, which is honestly, like he mentioned, inconsistency rebounding, inconsistency on the offense or on the defensive glass. So this could be a 10 offensive rebound game for Oscar Clough. I truly, truly do believe that. What do you think Purdue really needs to do in this game? Obviously, we're like 24-point favorites, so we're not going to sit here and act like this is supposed to be a close game, and we're also not going to pretend like there's no way Queens can win either. But if everything plays out according to plan, this should be a relative beatdown, for a lack of better terms. And obviously we just talked to their coach, and I don't want to turn it into that kind of hatred, or anything like that. But Purdue should win this game handily, right?
Look, man, let's be honest. They're 0-5 in quad one. They're 0-1 in quad two. I'm not going to have a bashing session on them, but it is what it is. If we stay focused and play Purdue ball and we beat them down inside, there's nobody in the country that can hang with TKR and Clough. We saw it against Michigan. Everybody, is so high on Mara and Morez Johnson, and those two killed them. But what we do need to watch out for is carrying that physicality from the Michigan game into this game. Historically, NCAA officiating is far different than what we're used to in the Big Ten tournament, and we cannot play that style of ball. We got to clean it up. That was nasty on both sides, a lot more nasty on Michigan's side, but we cannot play like that. They got bounced by Villanova by 20, 30, almost 30 by Virginia, almost 50 by Wake Forest. So unless Purdue's should be a day at the park. And I don't think with the big three seniors, big four, even if you throw Clough in there, I don't foresee that happening. Also did not foresee that happening the year we were the number 1 overall seed. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned in the interview, like there are some narratives that are similar with how this team is brought up. They're not big. They're a small D1 team. Don't have big guys. They have a shooter on their team in Ashby who has multiple games this season making 7 or more threes, so can completely go nuclear. I think that the key to Purdue is not to get baited into the 3-point game. Like, this team's going to jack them up. That's their way to win this game. They're not going to go inside and post up on Oscar Clough with a 6'8", 205-pound guy. And if they do, it's going to be the end of the road for them. So they're going to obviously be aggressive coming after or from the 3-point line. And they have Ashby is a great shooter, but their offense all runs through a guard named Leo Calamero, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but who averages like 16 points a game. He's a combo guard. He attacks downhill. He's a creator. He can drive and dish, and we know how Purdue has done guarding that perimeter and letting guys into the paint. So I think it all comes down to, like, can our defensive mindset from the Big Ten tournament carry over? Because like you mentioned, the whistle is always softer in the NCAA tournament. You cannot bully your way through people to that extent. We've seen it a million times with Big Ten teams. Why we don't do well in the tournament is we get used to this like crazy whistle where perimeter touch fouls are called nonstop, but down low you can just beat the hell out of each other. Well, they're not going to let that happen in the NCAA tournament, and that could work as a benefit for us. But it's like we just came into this physical mindset, and now it's about to be told like you can't do that, and I worry about that. That being said, he did say something that kind of sparked my interest. They watched the Michigan game, right? And you can't tell me that there's not a world where their players are not nervous. Like, and he even brought that up. And sometimes that nervous energy, the biggest thing it affects is your jump shooting. And I could see them coming out and starting out an 0 of 8 or 2 for 12 from 3 and just getting run out really quickly. That being said, they could also start out very well. Purdue just has to focus on continually getting the ball inside to the big guys who will dominate. And if you're trading 2 for 3s, that sometimes feels like a loss. But in the grand scheme of a 40-minute basketball game, it will all play itself out, and you will eventually pull ahead because you're going to make more of those layup 2s than they're going to make on those long 3s. So, I think that's a big part of it. They do play a really high-pressure defense. Does that concern you at all, or do you think Braden handles that?
Well, we saw pressure from Michigan.
Yeah.
And that's probably the heaviest pressure you're going to get all year. I mean, that team is just so athletic, so big. I mean, and we handled it every time. We got easy buckets from that runouts, so I don't foresee. I think Matt Painter's cracked the code on full
On the
court
press.
pressure. So you can press us all day, and I think we kill it this year.
They throw it in the corner, we throw it back to Fletch, and then back to the guard.
Yeah.
It happens every time.
Well, and it's like you've got the best point guard in the country, and I'm not
Fletch,
going to
who's an
back down from
insanely
that. Yeah,
smart player.
Yeah, he knows, and like CJ also handles pressure really well.
He does.
Jakari does as well. So, and I mean, Omer will try to break the press by himself, and he might do it. But that's what I've got. I mean, I don't think anybody can pressure us that well this year.
No, I think Braden's past that. And the Painter figured out really, like, finally, you can throw it in the corner off the inbounds, but you immediately have to turn and throw it back to the center. And that's what works against the press. Now, I hope in the game like this, with a team like this that's kind of aggressive, overdoes things at times, very, very Braden-esque from an entire team standpoint as far as like how they try to sneak steals and do some crazy stuff. If we're going to break the press, if they're going to press, it has to be to score the ball. It can't just be to break it. Like, go to the basket and score the ball. And then they're going to have a lot of defensive breakdowns trying to get steals and force turnovers because chaos is the way they're going to win this game. Should leave wide open shots for our jump shooters. And you just got to knock those down. You got to be confident. And if they don't go down right away, you got to keep shooting them. Just a couple of their players real quick. We already hit Chris Ashby, elite shooter. You can't lose him. That's just all there is to it. I assume it'll be a Fletcher matchup. You just can't let him get open. Fletcher's pretty good at guarding elite three-point shooters because he is one. People don't give him credit for that. He's also very smart about help and how the defense is supposed to run. So I don't expect that to be a crazy situation. We already talked about their other guard. But outside of that, they have a guy with a cool name, Bryce Cash. He mentioned they do have an Israeli player who is obviously, I wonder if there's any connection there with Omer, because that would be kind of cool. I have no idea.
Maybe one of his buddies.
Yeah, I don't know if Omer has buddies. Like, I saw him. Did you see Omer after they won the Big Ten title? He hugged Braden and kissed him on the head. I was like, that's a foreigner thing right there.
Yeah.
Braden was probably like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Don't kiss me, bro.
Dude.
There's cameras everywhere, bro. Don't be kissing me.
Chill out. Schwiger.
Yeah,
he's a big boy. He can shoot too.
That's the one scary thing I think is their bigs, because they're not big. They're pick and pop, and that's hurt Purdue. I mean, in all reality, like, this team's a good three-point shooting team. They do play a high-pressure defense, but if you go look at their games against Division I power conference teams, they have been absolutely dismantled by every one of them. Miles Colvin went off for 33 points against them. I don't think I need to say a ton more. Like I'm not saying that they don't have a chance in this game, but if Purdue plays a C- game, they win by 15. If we play like we did in the Big Ten tournament, this will be a 40-point victory in my eyes. I hope that for the sake of that coach and that program, it sounds like a great story. I hope they play hard and they play well. I don't think even if they play great that they really are going to put up a ton of resistance to Purdue just from Purdue's size difference standpoint. But let's jump over to Purdue. I think we've hit on them enough. Let's do what we normally do in these, and then we'll get the hell out of here. We'll go through what do you want to see from every player, give our predictions, keys to the game real quick, and then move on. Let's go with Braden in this game. Obviously, going to break the record. It's going to happen early in this game, early and often. And do you expect after he does that, this is a sidebar question, after he breaks that record, do you expect him to just I'm going to go nuclear scoring the basketball now? No? That's fair.
This is how the offense runs now.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned that he doesn't need to do that. What he needs to do is find open teammates because we have scorers around him. We have guys built in. We have Clough down low who's playing like a beast. So it's not necessary. Take your shots, Braden, which I know he will. I mean, he got up, 11 or 12 shots in the last game? Yeah. So take your shots. If they're open and we believe in them, shoot the threes. But no, that's pretty much what I was going to say. I want to see the assists continue the way they have. Run the offense. Don't do anything outside of yourself. And if you have to down the run, take over.
Yeah, this feels like a game. What I'm going to say is I want to see Braden 10-plus assists. This feels like a game he could get 20 in. Just God honest truth, the way that their defense is super aggressive, 100% could. Rickus hops in late. Not sure if you caught the interview yet, Rickus, but we did talk with him. He's a good dude. He showed up in a Lucky Charms shirt or whatever the hell that was, and he just it was
Hawaiian
sick.
shirt, baby.
It was like a Hawaiian charm shirt. It was cool. He's a cool guy. He's a lot like Purdue's program mentality of what he represents. So, yeah, Braden, I want to just see a big assist game. I think it can happen. What do you want to see from Fletcher?
Keep the threes rolling, baby. We were 3 for 4 against Michigan. Out of all 4 threes we hit, Fletch hit 3 of them. So keep it rolling. Keep shooting with confidence. Like I haven't seen Fletcher play that confident all year, and that's what we need to make a run. So keep shooting.
Yeah, I think this should be a big 3-point attempt game for Fletcher. They're going to overhelp. They're going to be doubling down on they have to double the post. If they don't, I'll be absolutely shocked if they say we're going to go one-on-one here. So I assume they're going to double the post. So I'm going to say Fletcher 8+ 3-point attempts. Don't care how many go in, to be honest. If Fletcher's the guy that shoots 8 for us, we'll be okay. And I also want to see if he is guarding Ashby. Just don't give him wide open. Let's not help off of bad shooters and leave open wide open ones. That seems to be a Purdue thing sometimes, so let's not do that. Let's go to CJ Cox.
CJ, just get rolling, brother. We're expecting defense out of him. I need to see some buckets.
Yeah.
I need to see some stuff start falling. That shot, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's hanging out with Jack Benner or what. His shot looks jacked. So, and that's not a play on words. I mean, his shot literally looks jacked up. CJ, get back on the horse, baby. Let's go. We're going to need you.
Yeah. I think I'm with you there. I think this could be a good scoring game for CJ. I want to say 10 or more points. Doesn't have to be a monstrous outing. I don't need 28 again or whatever he scored, but let's just get the ball in the basket. I don't think the defense is as vital. Now he's going to get their best player. And the good thing about Purdue is they're elite at help defense. Most of the time, I know that we have breakdowns from time to time, but we do help. And it's not like they're going to have this guy on their team's Darius Acuff. It's a matter of, can CJ just stay in front of him, stop him from getting into the paint? And if he does that, we'll be in good shape. Let's go to Trey Coppin-Rin. What do you want to see from Trey?
Man, I want to see a double-double. Why not? I mean, it should be a fairly easy double-double game for him and Clough. So That's what I would really like to see. And another thing is stay out of foul trouble, man. Let's set that tone right now because we are going to need Trey in some of these tougher games. So why not start out on the right foot?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the foul situation goes in the NCAA tournament game. It feels like Trey's moving more and more towards last year's Trey, scoring the ball, but also last year's Trey fouled a lot. And I don't want that to become a problem because if we lose Trey, I have trust in Benter, but Trey is the separator on our team with Clough. And when they're in together, it's pretty hard to stop them. So stay out of foul trouble. But yeah, I'd like to see Trey just 10 rebounds. Just get the rebounds back. You know, this is a game you should dominate the glass. Whoever's guarding him is going to be in hell. I know that much because whenever he gets the ball, he's gonna kill. Let's go to your boy, the MVP in my eyes of the Big Ten tournament, Oscar the Clough.
Yeah, Mr. Clough, what I'm going to ask of you is to double up. I want another game with TKR and Clough doubling. Let's just keep that rolling, man, because that's going to pay off against a tougher team like Missouri or Miami in the second round. And let's fundamentally beat the crap out of this Queens team. Like, just be fundamentally sound. Box outs. If you don't get the board, clear space for somebody else. That's what I want to see from our bigs.
Yeah, what did their coach say? One word about Purdue: disciplined. Let's be disciplined. Let's
Yeah.
not make silly mistakes. You know, one thing in that FTU loss, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but it's been all over my timeline. Um, we were not disciplined in that game. Guys were getting scared to shoot. We were not running the offense. We were standing around going, "Well, they're putting 4 guys on Edie. Okay, well that means all of you are wide open. Let go to the basket." We just stood out there and we took threes. Be disciplined. Run the offense. Be smart with what you do, and be as Payne says, process based and fundamental. Andy did say Braden Smith triple double watch. There's a chance because he could get some rebounds in this game. He really could. They shoot a lot of threes. He's not going to be there's not huge big guys in there on their team that are going to gobble up rebounds on the defensive end. So you never know. That would be sick to break the record and get a triple double in the first game. What's Circa say? All right, we're going to hide that again. Oh, see, Rickus, you're my guy. Oscar Club in this game. I just want to see kind of what you said, double. Like, let's just continue. Let's keep rolling. I don't want to see a reversion back to what we were. Like
Right.
Oscar Clough going for 8 and 3 doesn't get us to the promised land. We need dominant Oscar Clough, and sometimes that's rebounding, but the scoring is really what separates Purdue. When he is scoring 14, 15, 16 points, you have to then start worrying about him, which means you're not worrying about Trey or you're not worrying about Fletcher. If he becomes an offensive weapon, I think that's where Purdue's ceiling is. And the rebounding's great, and obviously we won it, but I'm going to go 15 plus points. That's, to me, in this game, it shouldn't be crazy difficult. He's going to have a huge advantage in weight and height. So let's get it done. The one specific bench player I want to go over, what do you want to see from Omer?
Hit shots. Actually, 2 threes from Omer. Give me 2 threes because the mid range has been hot. I
Yeah.
mean, clearly that dude's mid range is always going to be there, and it looks like it was there at the beginning of the universe, actually, because I know he is from Israel, and that's where the Bible's from. So Omer's jumper from mid range was there at the beginning of time, and it has existed till now. But it's clean now. Let's clean up the threes. Get
Yeah.
a couple to go down.
Yeah, can we say Omer's mid-range was touched by Jesus Christ himself?
We can't say that because
Oh,
that is
okay.
sacrilegion, and
Oh,
I
okay.
I
Sorry.
can't do it.
That's fair. That's fair.
You
Sorry.
can say.
I'll
You can
say
say
it.
whatever you want,
Yeah.
dude.
I'll say it. I'll put it on
I'm
t-shirt.
not your dad.
I'll put it on t-shirt with with him shooting a mid-range and Jesus' hand just on his shoulder. Like this will go in every time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like his three's actually not been bad though. I think he's been taking way better shots, smarter shots. He's not forcing things. So that's been really impressive to me. I think I just want to see Omer. He says he lives for these moments, okay? I don't know if it's this game. I don't know if it's another game. There's going to be an Omer game where he goes for 20 again. And I kind of just want to see him be aggressive when the chances are there. Like, I don't want to see him shy away in the big moment because I don't think he will. I wonder if Omer knows who Kyle is from South Park. You're crazy. And we love you for it. All right, let's go to the rest of the bench. Anything you want to see from DJ, Jack, Jakari? I expect rotations at least until this game is out of hand, if it gets there, to be tightened up quite a bit. What do you want to see from these guys?
Play your role. When you come in, use your minutes. Do something productive with them. Don't be a minus 15. Seriously, Jack's always productive. That's why he sees a lot of the floor. I'd like to see Jakari get there too. These guys are going to be pertinent to a long run.
Yeah.
Like, your depth is going to come into play. Your bench is going to come into play. Bench points. Like, you have to use your minutes. Do something. Get a board. Box somebody out. Play the toughest D you've ever seen. Because if not, you're going right back on the bench. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, go hard when you're in. Play hard. And we have a beer named Play Hard.
Yeah.
Because Gene Katie loved, people that played hard. Pull the Grady Eifert spirit out of you if you're coming off the bench. And go out there and, like Carson's wrist said, kill everything.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought. I was actually going to say something very similar. As bench players, especially Jakari and DJ to this point, and yes, I'll hit Aaron Fine real quick. 3+ assists from Aaron Fine will be beautiful. Beautiful. I want Aaron, that would be my one bench point thing. I want Aaron Fine in this game. If he's in this game.
We love Aaron Fine. Double D's. The double D's go is Aaron Fine, baby.
He is the GOAT. First guest ever to come on the show, so he will always have a place in our heart. We've become, at least to some circles that I know, the podcast of guests, which is fun for us because it's probably the most fun thing about this whole experience is even if this thing whole crashes and burns over the summer or something crazy happens, we got to interview some really cool people and some situations that I never thought we would be in, and a lot of that's because of you guys, the fans. If we had no followers, nobody would want to talk to us, and we've grown quickly and been really excited, and we really appreciate you guys. But from the bench, what I was getting back to was what you said. Like, you're only going to be in the game for maybe 10 minutes for a 40-minute game. So bust your balls when you're in the game for those 10 minutes. Go all out. You're getting 3-minute spurts. Run the tank to empty in 3 minutes, whatever that takes. I played with some guys in junior high school that's all they did. They just came in the game for 3-minute spurts and were vicious on defense and dove after every loose ball. You got to be that guy. Like, that's one thing about Jakari. I'm like, if you want more minutes, bro, I don't see you on the floor. Like, I see Braden Smith on the floor. He's playing 40 a game. I see Fletcher on the floor now, usually for other reasons because he gets knocked over.
That's not good.
Same with DJ, but dive on the floor, go after these loose balls, because those little plays, those one play where you save a ball, where you do this, that could change your entire March Madness run in a single play at the 12-minute mark in the first half. You never know what that momentum changing play is going to be. So be ready for that. That's my message to the bench, is just be ready. All right. What are your keys to the game? I don't have any. I'm just going to make these up as I go here and what I think.
It's the same as it's been all year, dude. Control the boards. Execute on offense. Be efficient on offense. We are an offensive team. We all know this now. It's been this way for a while, so if you're going to be it, be the best. I mean, be efficient. Feed the post. Get the kickouts. That's it.
Yeah, love it. Like you've said all year, it starts in the post, and everything else can work from there. That's a big part of this game. I think another key to this game is composure. Purdue, I don't care how many times we overcome it, it will always be in the back of these players' minds that have been here the whole time, that were here for that 116. Once they're gone, I think that kind of floats away from the other players. But these guys that experienced it, that doesn't go away. That's like the first girl who ever breaks your heart. It never really goes away. You remember it, and you never love someone again the same way.
Why'd you bring that
up? But no, I just think that composure. Like, if they come out and they bang 4 threes and it's a 12-10 game and they have a lead, who gives a shit? The game's played over 40 minutes. You're going to be fine. Stay in there. Ricka says his key to the game is The team must listen to Getting Jiggy With It by Will Smith before the game. Well, that makes sense because then you got to go slap somebody. And Will Smith did that as well.
That's
Nah, 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 nah,
hilarious,
nah, nah,
dude.
nah. Nah, nah, nah,
That
nah,
is
nah, nah.
funny.
Yeah, that's Dikembe Mutombo's favorite song. Nah, 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 nah. Thank you for that beep. Perfect timed. Really needed it. Fills my heart with joy. Going to be a great pre Taco Bell noise. I might just play it on repeat. Yeah. So that's my key to the game is just composure throughout the whole game. Don't get up 30 and let it fall back to 15. Don't don't start out bad and freak out about it. This is something that we have to have four seniors starting, right? Like we have to be that team all tournament long. This goes not just for this game, but all tournament. All right, what's your prediction in this game? And what do you think the score is going to end up looking like?
Man, I hate to do this because I really like that coach. Nice guy, great guy. But it's gonna be 106 to 68 Boilers. Our bench is gonna come in and run on them because Painter's sitting the starters at about probably 12 minutes second half,
Okay,
and the bench comes in and runs things. Omer might go for 30.
that'd be sick. That would be sick. Yeah, I did really like that guy. And if anybody from Queens University is still watching this, I love you. I am your
Yeah,
friend. We are your
right.
friends. Next year, when you make it back and you're not playing us, I will be screaming that from the rooftops that you guys are going to win the game. I'll interview your coach again about it, and we'll continue to promote you guys because I do like your program and I do like what your coach stands for. So, um, but that being said, this game's never going to be close. Purdue's going to be up. I'm going to give you a halftime and a full time. It's going to be 51-28 at halftime. Full time is going to be, we're going to bring in some subs at the end. I'm going to go 96. No, I'm going to go odd. I always go even numbers. 97 to 54. I just don't. No, that's no 97-64. This team is decent at offense. 97-64. We cover the spread. 33-point game. Purdue rolls. Everybody's happy. It's a celebration. I did see. Tell me if you saw this. It looks like our Sunday game is going to be the last game.
I did
Nine
not look at the schedule,
9:55
bro.
start time.
That's a tragedy. And boss, if you're still watching,
Yeah, give the man a day off. I mean,
I'm
I know you're.
I'm off, but I might need Monday off too, Mark.
Yeah,
If
at
you're
least
still
let him come in a
watching.
little late. If Purdue is the late game, I just know that's the two time slots were like 7:05 and 9:55 or something. And I think Purdue, because they're the later game on Friday of this pod, also will be the later game on Sunday if they advance. So yeah, really excited. What's your last like March is here? What's your message to everybody, to the fans, to the people?
I got a simple message. Thanks for riding with Double D's, baby. It's been a grind, and there's been days where I haven't wanted to do this stuff, but y'all keep me coming back, and we keep getting after it, and it's just been a joy to be able to talk Purdue. And it's not just me and Derek in his kitchen with our wives. Like, what the hell is wrong with these two? I mean, they still say that, but my message is thanks for riding along with us. We'll continue with it, and boiler up. It's always boiler up. Purdue's the reason we're here. Purdue ball is what we love. It's what we love to talk about, and I'm just glad that we get to share it with people who enjoy the same things.
Yeah, I'll do my little 2 minute rant here. I always end with, but I did one on the Bench Points pod if you want to see that. No, last night on our podcast. Oh heck yeah, Rickus. I did one last night on our podcast. But a lot of it goes down to the podcast we did last night with 6 people on it, and those are all just fans of the show, people that we've met through the show, that have become friends of ours and people that we trust and like listening to and enjoy their input on things. And that's the greatest part about being a Purdue podcast is the community of people that we deal with on a daily basis is so great. And I wish more Purdue people could find us. So if you do know anybody, please send them our way. We're almost at 300 subscribers now, but there's thousands more out there that don't know that we exist. And we're just a Purdue fan podcast, and we love having you guys on. Like Dalton said, it's you guys that keep us going, along with the Purdue team. And without you guys, we would still be doing this. It just wouldn't be on air, and it would probably be a little less composed and a little less, under control, I guess. Would be just us arguing about some dumb shit in my kitchen, like Dalton said, probably getting mad at each other and not talking for 2 days over some argument we had about Purdue. But this forces us to come back and be reasonable with our takes and reasonable with our thoughts and kind of compose them and put them together. But we truly, truly appreciate everyone who watches the show. Like, that's my message. The season's going to be coming to a close here soon. We're going to have a ton more content coming up. We're going to be live Thursday and Friday at multiple times. Probably we'll be together. So we're just going to pop on and off at times. So there won't be much scheduled. Maybe we'll schedule one for sure, but just keep an eye, turn our notifications on. But as far as Purdue goes, man, like, throw everything else out the freaking window. Like, throw it all out. Like, I don't care. Like, however upset you were with the team, however mad you were that Braden had a podcast or was on Twitch or anything else you might have felt at some point during this season, get over it. March Madness is officially here. It started about an hour ago with this UMBC game. We're here. There's no reason not to make the best of it. There's no reason not to go into every game with hope and belief. I'm sure I pissed you off, Rickus. I pissed myself off. But there's just no reason to go into this next, hopefully, few weeks without a sense of belief. Like, you truly should believe in this team, because these seniors have given us nothing but positive memories, joy, championships, good men, good people, a good culture, a name you can be proud of, a brand you can be proud of. And they're going to bring us a national title. I'm sure about that. I don't know. Sleepers did a thing on it, but Ken Pom basically told everybody to ignore the data and pick Purdue. I think that's the national narrative is always Purdue is going to fall short, but I don't think we are this year. And I think that these seniors are going to lead us to the promised land. And if they don't, that's okay too. But I have faith and I believe. And I think we're all going to be having a party together in Indianapolis in a few weeks and get fucking excited for that, because that's going to be one of the greatest times ever as a Purdue fan. Win, lose, or draw, but the Final Four in Indy, when we get there, is going to be absolutely incredible. And I expect to see every one of you there. And I expect to buy a lot of drinks while I'm down there. And hopefully Rickus at least buys me one, and that'll make my whole weekend. So, really appreciate everybody. Please hit like and subscribe button if you liked what you saw with that interview. We love getting those. Those are so fun. Hit the like and subscribe button. Share it with a friend. Share this on your social media, please, so that people can be introduced to this coach. And share it tonight so that they can see it before the game starts, because I think that program, like he mentioned, it's so good for them to get this viewership and get people introduced to them. And talking about getting 4 million or billion or whatever you said hits, it's huge for a program like that. And for a guy like that, he's a resilient guy. He's been at the really small schools. He's dealt with a lot throughout his career, and to still come on here, be as respectful as he was and as gracious as he was with his time, it's just something you don't see everywhere. Trust me, I've tried to talk to a lot of people in the Purdue program, outside the Purdue program, all over college basketball. Not everyone's as gracious as that, to come talk to a small podcast and give their time 3 days before they're about to play the biggest game of the school's entire existence. So big shout out to Grant Leonard. Really appreciate you,
Coach. We appreciate you.
And
we tried to keep it as minimalistic as we could when it came to what we expect from the game, because that would not be our normal game talk in this scenario if you weren't such a nice guy.
Yeah, exactly. Dalton was begging me to be able to ask him some questions about what he feels like is going to happen. I don't understand that, Rickus. I don't even want to understand it. Thank you, everyone. We're going to get off here. I got to go eat dinner, and we will not be on tomorrow, but we will be back Thursday. Appreciate everybody. Let's go Boilers. Let's go win a national freaking title, guys.
Boiler up, yo.